Hi, I'm Katie. And this is, without a doubt, the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me.
A killer clown moved in next door. Yep, you heard that right.
A full-on rainbow wig, giant shoes, killer clown. It all started last Monday afternoon. I was just chilling in my room, minding my own business, scrolling through some top-tier memes, when I heard this incredibly loud honking noise coming from outside. I'm talking about a sound that could wake the dead. It was so piercing, I had to see what was going on. So, I peeked out my window. And there it was. A clown car! You know, the ridiculously tiny ones that somehow defy physics and fit like 20 clowns inside. But this wasn't just any clown car. It had a certain ... sinister vibe. The paint was peeling. One headlight was cracked to look like a winking eye, and the license plate just said, and the guy who clumsily stumbled out wasn't just any clown. It was Blobby the Clown. I know. Right. Super cliche name. But trust me, everything else about him was anything but funny. Seriously. This guy had the absolute creepiest smile I have ever seen in my life. And I don't mean in a ha-ha. That's a funny costume way. I mean in a, I will definitely haunt your dreams forever and ever kind of way. He started walking towards my house, a fistful of balloons in his hand. My first thought was, okay, maybe he's just here to entertain the neighbor's kids.
No big deal. Wrong. So wrong. Blobby marched right up to my front door and knocked.
When I opened it, he held out a balloon animal. It was shaped like a knife. A balloon knife. Then he said, in a gravelly voice that did not match his colorful outfit, I'm your new neighbor. Wanna hang out? What do you even say to that? I was completely speechless. But hey, I wasn't about to turn down free, albeit terrifying, entertainment. So I just shrugged and said, sure, come on in. He waddled into my house, plopped down on my couch, and immediately started juggling actual knives. No joke. Real, sharp, gleaming knives, just flying through the air in my living room. Then he started talking about how he was retired from the circus, but still wanted to stay sharp. Get it? Sharp. Because knives? I let out the most nervous laugh of my entire life. But then, the whole vibe shifted. He stopped juggling, the knives clattering onto my coffee table. He got really serious, leaned in close, so close I could smell the faint scent of cotton candy, and Dredden whispered, I'm actually a killer clown. But don't tell anyone. It's just a phase. I'm trying to change. So, there I was, stuck. A murderous clown on my couch, surrounded by deadly cutlery, having a full-blown existential crisis. I did what any rational person in that situation would do. I tried to change the subject, wanna play Monopoly? He just stared at me for a long, uncomfortable second, and then that horrifying grin spread across his face again. Sure. But I never lose. We played. And he was right. He didn't lose. He absolutely killed at Monopoly! And by that, I mean he literally killed my game pieces, one by one, with his knives. My poor little top hat never stood a chance. By the end of the game, he'd completely destroyed my entire stand, what was left of my... Just when I thought the nightmare was over and he'd leave, Blobby looked at me with these surprisingly sad eyes and said, I'm glad we could spend time together, but you know, Katie, I really just want to be loved. I know I might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I have feelings. You know, he then reached into his giant pocket and pulled out a tiny bouquet of roses.
That were definitely not just red from the petals. He handed them to me.
You're my best friend now. I honestly didn't know whether to hug him or run away screaming for my life. So, I kind of did both.
I gave him a quick, awkward pat on the shoulder. then turned and bolted out my own back door.
I just ran. And to this day, I still hear those honking noises late at night. Sometimes, I'll see a familiar, knife-shaped balloon floating menacingly past my window. So, if you're ever in the neighborhood, just know Blobby the Clown is still out there, still trying to find his new family, and probably juggling knives while he's at it.
Thanks for listening to my story.
If you want to hear more weird things that happened to me, make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button. Stay safe out there!